This video features the best brawlers you need to be playing in August 2025 with the new season and the new brawler. Let's see how much the meta has shifted so far. Alright guys, the first brawler we're going to be talking about is going to be Crow. Now you want to be using Crow's main attacks to chip away the enemies from a distance. While poking, use Crow's fast movement speed to dodge enemy fire. Although poking deals moderate damage each time, especially because other brawlers are more effective in long range combat than Crow, poking will slowly defeat the enemy and hinder any healing. I mean, Crow is just super annoying to face because of his ability to stop the enemies from activating their auto regeneration. Crow's poison prevents the poison brawler from self-healing for 4 seconds more than the normal healing time, raising the required time for auto regeneration to be 7 seconds, since the poison enables damage for an extended period. This exponentially hinders an enemy's ability to regroup with allies and or recover health. The poison also reveals the enemy when they are inside of bushes, so it also prevents enemies inflicted with poison from hiding and healing. Now what's also good about Crow is his super, because it's just extremely versatile. You can use it in multiple different situations. Crow's super is a fitting assassination tool. Once a brawler is low on health because of the poison, he can jump on them for a quick defeat. Because the daggers fly out around him, you should position yourself to land onto an enemy, which maximizes the super's potential. Crow's super is also a viable escape tool. If he is low on health with enemies approaching, you can use his super to fly away and escape enemies while also damaging them. Alright guys, the next brawler we're going to be talking about is going to be Charlie. Now Charlie is super meta now because her attack range was increased. Supercell recently buffed Charlie's main attack range back to 9 tiles from 8.33, and this extension is a big deal. It lets her poke and pressure from mid-range without overexposing herself, which was one of her key weaknesses. This adjustment restores much of her former presence while keeping her balance, and now she dominates zoning while staying safe. Now even though a while ago they decreased the supercharge rate of Charlie's super, I mean it is still going to be a very good asset to her kit. Now a couple of months ago, something that also helped her out was the decrease in her supercharge rate. Charlie's super now charges faster, needing only 6 hits instead of 7 to activate. Once activated, you can use her pestilence hypercharge that spawns 3 spiderlings that add consistent chip damage and pressure around her cocoon. These spiderlings are great for delaying enemies, disrupting pushes, and synergizing well in game modes like gem grab and brawl ball. Now kind of piggybacking off the previous tip, I mean Charlie's super is probably one of the best parts and probably one of the main reasons why a lot of people play her in the current meta. Charlie's cocoon super provides not just crowd control, but also protection because she can intercept enemy rushers like tanks and assassins from attacking their team. Her spider's gadget helps track down hiding enemies or protect against dangerous flankers. In modes with objective tanks or high mobility threats, she can cancel enemy supers, clear lanes, or lock down targets effectively. Alright guys, the next brawler we're going to be talking about is going to be Bonnie. Now Bonnie's ability to switch between her long range cannon form and aggressive melee form gives her exceptional flexibility during matches. In her cannon form, she acts like a pseudo sniper, dishing out consistent damage from afar while being tanky enough to survive most poke damage. Once her super is charged, she becomes a high risk, high reward assassin who can dive into the backline and disrupt enemy setups or finish off low health brawlers, and this gives her great outplay potential in skilled hands. Now what's great about Bonnie's alternate form is you can use it to just shred down any brawler that you jump on top of. Her shots in this form travel quickly and hit hard, making her ideal for close range duels after a dive. The crash test gadget allows her to dash and knock enemies back, adding mobility for escape or aggression, and it synergizes well with her close range pressure. This makes her unpredictable and deadly when her abilities are timed correctly. Now not only is Bonnie super good, but her kit in general is just very solid. Her sugar rush gadget allows her to move quicker so she can get up the map faster or just dodge incoming projectiles. The black powder star power further enhances her dive capability by increasing the super's jump range. I mean, these builds give her the tools to deal with various team comps, from tanks to control brawlers, and this makes her a safe and powerful pick in competitive formats. Alright guys, the next brawler we're going to be talking about is going to be Hank. Now despite some of the recent nerfs, Hank is still a really good brawler. His homing hypercharge further enhanced his viability by guaranteeing hits even in cluttered fights, making the super reliably impactful. However, nerfing the strength of his hypercharge projectiles by 50% and previous reductions to his base damage and HP have noticeably softened his popularity in the meta. Now whenever using Hank's main attack, please remember this tip so you can catch some of the enemies off guard. When approaching an enemy, always charge your bubble in the opposite direction of the enemy. When the bubble is at its maximum size, quickly rotate the attack joystick to aim it towards the enemy and immediately release it. This strategy catches the enemy off guard, as they will not be able to gauge a safe distance from you while your bubble is not facing them. Now no matter what, Hank is always going to shine on maps with lots of walls and bushes. Hank excels on maps with lots of walls because his charged main attack can shoot through obstacles, allowing him to deal heavy splash damage without exposing himself. This makes it easier for him to control choke points and pressure pressure enemies behind cover, giving his team strong area control. His tanky build also lets him play aggressively in tight spaces where mobility and burst matter more than range. Alright guys, the next brawler we're going to be talking about is going to be Bull. Now Bull is the strongest he's ever been because of the rework to his super. Bull's super allows him to charge a very long distance in any direction, destroying all obstacles in his way. Since Bull can deal maximum damage when he's close to his target, this ability can be used for getting Bull close enough to enemies to defeat them. Now make sure you aim your super correctly and predict the enemy's movement so you can reach the enemy properly to defeat them, or use his stomper gadget to get as close as possible to the enemy. Now something that will help Bull survive just a little bit longer when you're on low health is running his Tough Guy star power. Bull's Tough Guy star power is fantastic for survivability. It gives Bull a shield that reduces damage when his health gets low. Use this to your advantage when you're pushing into enemy territory, especially when you're low on health. It can make a huge difference in surviving long enough to get back to safety or finish off your target. Now just like Hank, you want to be playing a brawler like Bull on maps wherever you can find a lot of walls and bushes. Bull can deal a lot of damage when he's within close quarters of his target and has high health, but can't deal maximum damage when he isn't close. Take advantage of bushes, obstacles, or thin choke points to ambush and defeat the enemies. Therefore, in more open areas or maps, try to dodge enemy attacks. Bull has a higher movement speed than most brawlers, so you can rush enemies and avoid their attacks more easily. It's ideal to dodge enemy attacks and not tank damage, as that allows enemies to quickly recharge their supers. Alright guys, the next brawler we're going to be talking about is going to be Shade. Now even though Shade's hypercharge was nerfed, I mean he's still going to be a top 10 brawler in the game. Shade's hypercharge enhances his main attack to deal maximum damage no matter where you hit the enemy, making it easier to control space and pin them down. This boost turns Shade into an even bigger threat in team fights, forcing opponents to play cautiously. It greatly improves his ability to zone and pressure key areas in ranked modes. Now obviously one of the best parts about Shade is going to be his main attack and his super. For his main attack, Shade hugs his opponents with a wide embrace, accidentally dealing damage and doing more damage to those caught in the center of the hug. For his super, Shade leaves the physical world and can move directly through the environment. I mean, I need to know what the person was smoking when designing Shade's kit because it's just incredibly broken. Now, the reason why brawlers like Shade and Hank are just super meta right now is because they can just attack through walls. The best way to use Shade's super is to pressure enemies by dashing into and hiding in a wall nearby them. Most enemies are unable to hit Shade for as long as it stands in the wall, allowing you to freely damage and push them back. However, be wary of enemies that can outrange you and can still hit you in more opened up lanes. Alright guys, the next brawler we're going to be talking about is going to be Lumi. Now Lumi is still strong but not as strong because of the recent nerfs she received. The recent nerfs to her base health dropped from 3000 to 2800 and her gadget cooldown was increased from 18 seconds to 22 seconds. This has slightly trimmed her control uptime and survivability, making her a little less oppressive in competitive matches. These nerfs are good but aren't anything drastic, so Lumi overall didn't really change all that much. Now something that's still very good about Lumi that wasn't nerfed is going to be her main attacks. When throwing the maces, try to keep the enemies at the tip of your range to make it easier to hit them with the recalled maces. This is really important when throwing the second one, as if done right, Lumi can instantly recall the second mace after it hits for an additional burst of damage. Now another thing that's really good about Lumi is that her main attacks can pierce through multiple targets. When Lumi recalls the maces, they can go through walls and obstacles. This can be crucial when opponents need only one more hit to be defeated but are hiding behind a wall. She can take advantage of this by throwing her maces and moving towards the enemy behind the wall before they return, allowing them to get an indirect hit. Alright guys, the next brawler we're going to be talking about is going to be Cordelius. Now Cordelius is extremely good now because of the recent damage buff that he received. Thanks to his unique kit and strengths, Cordelius functions best as a counter to other assassins and tanks, being weak to long range and more agile brawlers in return. So in modes such as ranked, be sure to pick Cordelius only as a counter to the enemy team's brawlers and not only as a leading offensive brawler, seeing as he struggles to lead charges with his middling range and fairly low health. Now just like Bonnie, Cordelius is just very solid in general because his kit and build is very strong. Cordelius is a strong brawler in Brawl Stars due to his fast reloading mushrooms and high burst damage potential, especially with the combo shroom star power. His super lets him isolate enemies in the Shadow Realm, giving him a major advantage in 1v1 fights. With his hypercharge, he becomes even more powerful by gaining speed, a damage boost, a shield, and the ability to slow the enemies down. And the cherry on top to Cordelius' entire kit is he has the trait that'll help him charge up his super even easier. Cordelius is great at holding key areas like choke points or objectives thanks to his trait that charges his super while nearby enemies. This lets him camp safely until his super is ready, then isolate and eliminate a key target with a Shadow Realm duel. It's a powerful way to break enemy standoffs and control the pace of the match. After winning the duel, he often returns back into the fight with a numbers advantage, giving his team a strong push opportunity. Alright guys, the next brawler we're going to be talking about is going to be Kaze. Now even though Kaze's hypercharge was nerfed, I mean it is still incredibly strong. I mean the fact that you can do the damage instantly and you dash 30% faster, I mean this hypercharge is completely broken. It's going to be pretty difficult to dodge against a good Kaze, and the amount of damage you can deal with her hypercharge plus the mark, yeah, you can pretty much just kiss your life goodbye. I mean thankfully this hypercharge was nerfed, but in my opinion it should definitely get nerfed at least a little bit more. Now despite the hypercharge getting nerfed, I mean Kaze's kit in general, especially the ultra trait, is incredibly broken. Kaze is the first ultra legendary brawler in Brawl Stars featuring a unique dual form mechanic. She can switch between her geisha and ninja aspects using her super, each offering distinct abilities and playstyles. In her geisha form she has a very fast movement speed and a short range dash attack, and while in her ninja form she gains a longer range attack and a dash super. Now just a little tip, whenever you need to move around the map quicker, whatever the situation may be, go ahead and use Kaze's geisha form. Her geisha form has a very fast movement speed, whereas her ninja form only has a normal movement speed, so try to use her geisha form to maneuver around the map as well as approach the enemies. Due to her very quick reload speed in geisha form, she can also switch between forms to reload. This makes her highly versatile in hit and run tactics and repositioning quickly during fights. Alright guys, the next brawler we're going to be talking about is going to be Kit. Now Kit is one of the most broken brawlers in the game because of his brand new hypercharge making biscuits. While activated, when Kit uses his super on an enemy brawler, he will stun the enemy while still being able to move and attack. However, he will no longer deal damage or damage over time to enemies he hits. If Kit uses his super on a friendly brawler, he heals them more and his attack range in the alternate form increases. The healing on the friendly brawler increases from 10% to 20% during the hypercharge and goes back down to 10% once the hypercharge ends. Now Kit, with the addition of his hypercharge, I mean Kit is the strongest he's ever been in a very long time. Kit is a strong brawler because he can switch between dealing damage independently and supporting allies when attached. His super provides healing, stun potential, and excellent map control, making him highly versatile in ranked matches. With his hypercharge, Kit becomes even more dangerous by gaining increased range, speed, and stronger crowd control. Well anyway guys, if you guys enjoyed that video, I highly recommend you just go check out this video right here.